one. Boy there. Not officially spring yet, but we're getting some sunlight. We're getting to some 40-degree days. It's rained quite a bit. The salt's getting off the road. And next weekend is Tuner Galleria in Chicago. And I kind of really want to take the Carib because she hasn't been on a road trip out to Chicago yet. And I've been dying to drive this thing since spring. Even though it has the wrong transmission, I'm well aware. Hopefully this fall, after the Model A is done, the new car, the rally car is painted, we can swap the transmission on this thing. But until then, I still want to drive it because I want to enjoy it. It's an awesome car. It needs to get woken up from its winter slumber and take on a road trip. So, all right, just got the oil drained, hopping over here to pull out the oil filter. And it dawned on me, just 1 year ago today, is that this is not in good shape. So we're going to go ahead and actually swap this thing out right now because I would like to get rid of this really brittle, crappy washer fluid bottle. The connection on this one is actually a little bit different than the USDM ones, which I'll show you guys in a second. So I'm going to have to figure out how to pull these off and hopefully I don't damage the gaskets. But let's worry about that in a second. Let's get this thing off first. So before I pull this off, kind of tracing this line down around here. It looks like the front nozzle is this line right here. So we're going to dab this. Put F on that. That way I know which one goes where. And if I get mixed up or get lost, I can refer back to this video. Oh boy. Well, that's different. Not doing so great right now. Struggling, making a mess. Here's my new bottle. Needs a little bit of cleaning out of the coolant overflow because that's really full of gunk. But that's actually the least of my worries. There's a washer fluid bottle. That's what the bottom looks like on the USDM one. That's what the bottom looks like on the Japanese version. So this thing has a fluid level sensor on the bottom of it. So now we have to drill a tiny hole into the bottom of this to make this work and hope and pray it doesn't leak. Oh, that's really unfortunate, but I would like it working as it did from the factory, so we're going to go ahead and drill a hole in here and hopefully I can make this work and not ruin my bottle. Here's the new bottle. I'm going to start off by trying to pop these on out of here because I do not need to use, or I cannot actually use these. Hopefully I don't find anything else different with this. There we go. You fired. The boot ripped a little bit. Oof. That was aggressive. Thankfully the seal came out in one piece on this one. The other one, not so much. I still have a piece floating around in here somewhere. All right, now here's the Japanese one. As you can see, the connectors are a little bit different on this. So here's to really hoping I don't break these or mix them up, but thankfully it looks pretty easy. One without the harness on the right, one with the harness on the left. So hopefully I shouldn't mix up what's front and rear. I don't care about the bottle of this one, but I do really care about the seals. So let's see if I can get this out. There's one. Seal looks like it's still salvageable. All right, there's the old one. Now we need to recreate this hole in the bottom of the new one. So this is going to be the part that I'm not so sure how we're going to do. The old one right here, it looks like it basically bottoms up to the very last one. So, which is like a 15/16 hole. I'm going to just try punch a hole right here and just see if I can get this stepper bit to work its way into this. I'm not really sure if it's going to work or not, but we'll figure it out. There's no going back now. All right, moment of truth. Did the hole I cut work? It seems to fit through. We'll slide this thingy in here. We're in. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other two in, and then we'll do a water test before I fill this thing up, and then fingers crossed, we're gonna be good to go. Oh yeah, forgot about those. Well, capping those off, there's a bit of drippage, but I'm not seeing anything like consistent enough to be leaking seals. So I think we're good. And great success. Let's take this and put it maybe there. Voila. All right, now we got to do the test. Spraying. Let's do the rear ones. The rear one is over there. Well, the rear kind of tried to, but if you look at this, it's very slushy. There was water in here before. I think the line might be frozen. It's been very cold in Michigan the last couple of days. So maybe as it warms up, I'll be able to blow this out. If not, I'll have to thread this off and clean it out with an air compressor. There might just be some gunk in there. But at least the pumps work. I got them in the correct order. There doesn't appear to be a drip or a leak, so I'm happy about that. And it looks way nicer. So, job success. Yeah, I know. It's like a single wide. Not for fat people. Good job. All right, we're out here at Tuner Galleria in Chicago. We were going to take the Carib out here, but unfortunately the salt monster came back. And so instead of letting my one Night Scar not get rusty, I figured we would take a car that can get rusty. Her car. If you want, go ahead.
Please be sure to check out Legendary Car Club 2025. We are all the way over there, the opposite way that you're walking.
Will do. Ooh, beams. Beams in North Corona. Oh, look at all these A6 Corollas. See, this is where I got to bring my Carib one of these days to a show like this. This is the motor that I want to put in the Carib right here, one of these, because this makes like 120 horsepower, I think, 115. It's not like a lot of horsepower by any means, but it's like twice what the one they made from the factory. Is that an RX-2 or an RX-3? Oh, RX-2. These are cool. Direct transmission, phased. Yo, the Poopra. That's hilarious. This Naruto. I don't know any of these. Jackal, never heard of it.
I will admit the color was cool.
The blue and like pink, yeah. Rocket launcher top. Supercharged. This is a budget hypercar. Not really, but this thing is sick. Toyota Estima. Car security system. Look at that. Like there's like a CD changer in the middle of the, like where the center console would be, I guess, on a regular car. This thing's awesome. Love the little spoiler, the little kit on the side, TRD wheels. I don't know what those are off of, probably like a 4Runner or something, but they're like sick. It's not really my thing, but it's still cool. It's all VIP, look. Got little, those are little VIP trays they call them. It's weird that that one's bouncing. Oh, no way! So I actually got to sit in one of these at a car show in Detroit. I was like, man, I don't know if I can fit in these. I was like, you can sit in it. It's hard to get out of because it's so low to the ground. But, so, this is where you'd unlock it, and I think right here's the door, and then the doors are gull wings, so they swing out. They might have a picture of it on the display board right here. No, they don't. But yeah, the doors open like a Toyota Sprinter. That like purple and blue wrap is really cool though. These are really cool cars. They're just, again, one of those that's like, it's way more than they should be for what they are, but they didn't make a lot of them. Oh, is this a Nissan Sunny or a Datsun Sunny? It's pickup trucks. Yeah. Before COVID, you could get these for like $10,000 brought over, $8,000 brought over, and now they're 20 grand. Well, you can get stuff for like 18, 16, they're still way too much. That's cool. He's got like a little, where the headlight is, he's got like a little direct thing, so if he has a hood on it, they can take cold air in it and feed the cold air right into that turbo. That's cool. Jay-Z, no shit. I went a little over a year ago at Parker all the way to New Jersey to get one of these. Yeah, that was a fun trip, except it snowed a lot. He has this like texture all in the back too. It's another like VIP build thing. That's cool. I like the little center console armrest thing being reupholstered. There's like a box built back there too. Oh dang. He's got like a sub in the trunk and everything. That's cool. I love this like green. That's really nice. I don't know a lot about these, but I don't think they came with the K24 from the factory. I don't know what motor they had, but that's cool. What do you say this is at all Toyotas Midwest? This HKS livery thing. I could be wrong. There could be more, but Yeah, same. The purple and the light green is really cool.
The purple and the teal, it's like perfect color.
Yeah. So really kitted out Skyline. That's cool. Oh, Skyline. It's sick. The Honda Acti.
Thank you for the picture.
Yeah. Honda Acti with a freaking K in the back. That is sick. That is amazing. Vastly different than the A series. I do like the ITBs on that. That's really cool. It's got like dual carburetors and 4 individual throttle bodies. That's cool. Yeah, the 2 TCs and 3 TCs, something like that. They're like a 1.6, I think, and a 1.8 liter. They're a bigger motor than the Tercel wagon motors. Oh! There's a Honda T. I don't know if it's the 4-wheel drive one. We'll find out in a second, but I know for sure that didn't come in here from the factory because these were a mess of carburetors. No, it's not 4-wheel drive, but that's still really cool. It's got a tank of nitrous in the back and a trailer with a motorcycle or a moped. That's cool as shit. That is awesome. All right, now we're talking. Got a little bit of an off-roader going in here. All right. Oh, brush car with LED bars. This thing is sick. Ah, resin shift knob. I like the off-roady wheels. That's cool. All right, we're back in the auto show, and I actually got Spud 2 woken up already. As a lot of you guys may remember, this is the car I got out of Virginia a little over a year ago, and actually it was about a little under a year ago now. Put almost 5,000 miles on it. It's been a really good runner. Done a bit of work to it, not as much as I need to do just yet. A couple of little things that kind of annoy me about this thing that I need to get fixed up soon, and first one is underneath this hood. So, if you notice by the radiator size, I'm running a Honda Civic radiator. Now, these like 1990 Honda Civic radiators are a really cheap interchange. I guess they're not really technically an interchange, but they do work in place of the Tercel radiators. One drawback to them, though, they don't have the sensor for the fan. So, without that hooked up, your fan is basically running 24/7, 365, which isn't a big deal, except for the fact that when it's, 20 degrees in the morning and 50 degrees at night, I kind of want heat. And I will admit the heat does work really well in this car, but it takes a little bit longer than some of my other cars to get heated up. So I'm going to go ahead and actually take the sensor from the original radiator and throw it in right here where the old thermal vacuum valve is. I think this should thread right in place, and then I'll just take the sensor harness, which is right here, and I'll extend it a few inches right on top of there. Should be a pretty easy. Another thing with this car, beyond it very desperately needing an interior overhaul, this seat is pretty well split apart. That will be probably next year, unfortunately. But one of the things that's been kind of unfortunate about this car, I don't have any keys for any of these doors. None of the keys I have, and any of my parts cars actually work with these doors. I don't know if these are just frozen or what. And when I initially got the car, it didn't have a fuel door. You can see the guy that tried getting it running kind of banged this up a little bit to get it open, which, I mean, I don't blame him. You gotta do what you gotta do. But I did put a key latch on there from a different key set that I had from a parts car. And I ended up keeping the front door latches and the trunk latch as well for that. So I'm going to finally have a set of working keys for this. I've been pretty much just leaving it unlocked for the last year, which isn't really a huge deal. There's nothing in there that's really worth stealing. But at the same time, I'd really like to be able to lock it if I take it places. So we'll start out by the ignition switch. Now this ignition switch is actually really beat up and wore out, so this will be really easy to change. So normally in a normal car, you would want to pop the column off. There would be a little pin underneath there that you would access with a key turned forward to on. But this one's a little bit wore out. So it just kind of actually always just pops out. So I have another key with the other key that's for the fuel door back here. So I should, in theory, just be able to take this slide it in its place. It needs a little bit of lube, I think. And this one actually kind of wants to stay in there, which is nice. So, let's see if it works. Yeah, no surprise. Also, yes, for those wondering, my car does play the Pokemon theme song. If you really want to see this, I will show you in another video. Basically, I modified the original buzzer to play the Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire intro because I'm a nerd. But anyway, let's cut that out. I now have a key that works for the ignition and for the fuel door, which is great progress. So last but not least is going to be the doors. Now, you guys have seen me take these door panels off a dozen times, so I won't bore you to death on that. So let's quick cut to this door being apart. So behind the door here, looks like we got the red one is the one I need to pull off. There's a little tab right there. I need to get this to come free. There we go. That is now officially popped free, so this rod should come right out of there. And now we're going to go ahead and just pry this thing sideways. That should get this lock side out of here. Now, there's a chance I could have possibly revived this, so I'm not going to throw it away just because, man, if I can get it to work someday, it would be worth saving. I don't know, it doesn't look too terribly rusty inside, but I'm going to be owning these cars for hopefully the rest of my life, so we're going to save all the little parts we can. So here's the new one. I'm going to go ahead and just basically, I think I'm actually going to lube this thing up a little bit with white lithium, and then I'll slide it through the outside right there and get it all connected and put back together. Fingers crossed this works. Give that a little bit of something to hopefully keep it well lubricated. Well, that should be it. Now, these are available aftermarket on Rock Auto, eBay, things like that, but let's go ahead and try this out. Oh, hold on, I just scratched my paint. I don't know how well you can see that behind the tent, but hey! Hey! We have locks again. Oh, this is really nice. All right, let's go put this all back together. The other side. We should fix that. I think it's mostly coming from this piece right here, but I'm going to lube up all these hinges. I'm also going to lube up all these window seals with this stuff as well. But we'll see if this solves a lot of it. Nah, not looking like it. I give up. Yeah, that didn't quiet it down at all, but we'll find something. Here we go. Moment of truth. Oh, yeah. This is going to be really nice. Matching keys across this thing. Oh. So, unfortunately, after a little bit of fighting, this rear latch I don't think is going to be able to be replaced yet. So this is the rear right here, and I can't get it to actually rotate anymore. It is pretty well stuck, unfortunately, and then it just wants to pop out of my bench vise. So I'm going to have to keep working on freeing this thing up. I don't want to break my only key that I currently have for this, so we're going to be gentle to it. We'll let it sit for a while, and then I'll clean up my workbench. That's a weekend project, but today's not the weekend. Today is Spud 2 and Carib work week. in order to actually make sure your fan motor actually works, if you're buying one of these cars that's been sitting for a while and you want to know if your fan motor works, easiest thing you can do is actually go ahead and pull this connection off the bottom of the radiator right here. So this sits on the very bottom of the passenger side, and it's a temperature sensor. If you take this connector off, look at that. And so I think I gotta be a few miles further down the road before the heat really starts coming out of the vent, and I think that's due to the fan blade being like the size of the radiator, whereas the normal Tercel radiators come over quite a few more inches this way. I think just with the narrower radiator and the fan being right in front of it and it being running 24/7, 365, even in the wintertime, it's just causing this thing to take a few seconds longer to get hot, which isn't the end of the world, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of just fix this preemptively. That way next winter, it's no longer an issue, because I'm not keeping this thing for a long time. I paid $1,000 for it. I don't think I'm going to beat it. It doesn't look like it is. So that's a dub. Yeah, these things, they do run a little bit longer into the cap, but there's still enough room there to make them fit. So I'll pull this thing off of here. Get a little bit of thread sealant to it, which a little bit means probably a lot. Don't know if it's really necessary. It should be a pipe thread, but still. Nice and snug. All right, so to extend this thing over, it doesn't really need to go a whole lot further. It's only 6 inches, maybe a little bit more like 8, but I'm gonna kind of just shrink this back down to about here. I got enough room to work with. It's probably a little bit more of a risk to cut it there than it would have been to cut it further back, but I ain't worried about it. And I'm gonna go ahead and use these, which Amy and Dave, I'm pretty sure you guys are the ones that introduced me to these wiring connector things. These are little solder and seal ones, so if you guys are watching this, shout out to you guys. This stuff was 100% a game changer. You are very much right. So, before we go ahead and permanently kind of route this thing, probably not around the power steering pump, before we permanently route this thing probably somewhere along here and have it cut up over there, we're gonna go ahead and test it out. Let's see what happens. She ain't running. Cool. We got it. Oh, she was going to get a couple of nice quality of life upgrades done to Spud too. She's needed it for a little while now. It's going to be really nice this summer being able to lock my doors, except the rear hatch is just going to stay locked, but we'll get that figured out another time. Got a lot of stuff coming up soon. This weekend I'm actually going to be doing a big garage clean and then finally starting the 87 DLX. So the next video series should be starting on that. At some point in time, we are going to gut this entire interior. I have a black dashboard for it. I have really nice 86 SR5 seats. I have all sorts of black door panels. I got black shifter console, black shift knobs, all sorts of stuff for it. So we're going to be converting the interior out to a nice darker color versus the really blown out tan that's currently inside of it. So it's going to be later on down the road though. We got Model A to get running. We got a Carib transmission to swap. We got an 87 DLX to get running. We got to get the Dakar Rally car clone done finally. So speaking of the Dakar Rally car, I pulled that out of the garage it was probably like a month and a half ago now. So let's go to the carport and wake that thing up too. All right. One last thing to wake up this spring. It's this old girl. There's going to be a few things I got to do to this thing before we officially get the paint done. One of them is going to be a stereo. I need to put a stereo in here. I got this shortened Weber carburetor adapter. And I'm going to get that on there so I can run a taller air filter. Probably completely unnecessary. Gonna clean up some little dog prints on my seat. And then exhaust, because it needs an exhaust. But let's see how she does. That time is very inaccurate. I think it's like 6 o'clock right now. Maybe later, I don't know. All right, I think the neutral safety switch works on this car. We'll give it a real good old pump. Back to life she comes. I cannot wait to finish this car up. I only wish that I would have filmed more than I did on this car while I had it all the way blown apart, but hey, you live and you learn. We'll get it right. I cannot wait to get this car going. It's been a long process, but fingers crossed this year's the year we get her painted. Woo, we need some tuning too. Oh. Well, I guess probably gonna wrap it up for me today. Really appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for the next one. I'll see you then. Adios.